Hey everyone, it's Stephanie, and you are tuned into the review of Married at First Sight, Season 13, Decision Day episode. Okay, before we get started, don't forget to click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be the first to find out when I post these videos. All right, guys, Decision Day happened this week, and I had to bring my most special guest on to chime in.
Absolutely. I got a lot to say. She won't let me say it all, but I'm going to try.
All right. So this is my handsome husband, Edmund, for all of my new subscribers and for all of my older subscribers. You already know. He is affectionately known as the People's Champ. So
I didn't say it, you did.
No, you did. All right, guys. So let's just jump into it. This week was Decision Day. We finally got to see all 5 couples decide if they were going to stay together or get a divorce. And I feel like most of the decisions were spot on. I think I was spot on with pretty much all of them. But let's kick it off with Mirla and Gil. So Mirla and Gil decided to stay together. There's no surprise there for me. I thought that they were going to stay together because I thought that they had like genuinely good chemistry, but I feel like long term they're just not going to be able to make it because they're on different life paths. They value different things. I think if one person was into the other person's thing, it could work because they have like a very genuine chemistry that I really liked seeing. But we'll see. For now, they've stayed together. What do you think about that?
I'm just going to keep it quick. I'm just going to say male advice. If your wife or whoever you're with is saying that you guys didn't sleep together, then roll with it.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
I think that's marriage 101. Protect your wife or protect your spouse. So if they don't want to, if they're not comfortable saying something, roll with it. You don't have to lie, but you don't have to tell the truth. You could just say, hey, gentleman never tells or something like that.
Yeah, because she said when they asked if they consummated the marriage, she said, no, we didn't. And he said, yes, we did. And I couldn't tell, like, was there an agreement or was there a conversation or anything? Because, and Mirla is non-reactive. So she's not, if she feels a certain way, she's not going to give it to you on camera. So I don't know. But so I agree with that.
That's all I really got for that. And I do just think the power of waiting, I think it just became more, I don't even know the word, but I just think it became more valuable, I would say, because they waited.
Yeah. So that's Mirla and Gil. I don't think they'll last forever, but I'm not surprised that they stayed together on Decision Day. Okay, so next we have Johnny and Bao. So Johnny said yes. Bao said no. Listen, I couldn't have been more happy for Bao. Okay, because Bao got off the tracks before the train hit her. Because Johnny, for me, the way that he was acting those last few days, and maybe Johnny might have an aspect of validity as to why Bao doesn't work for him, whatever, because we don't get to see the whole picture. But based on the curated picture that we saw, Johnny didn't deserve her. And I said that this whole experiment, he did not deserve her. And I think Johnny was trying to save face, trying to look like a good guy. Hey, I'm going to drag you through the mud and treat you like crap this whole season or the majority of the season, but I'm not going to say no so that I don't look bad. I don't look like I didn't give it my all. Not because he was genuine about it. And I love that Bao set the boundary so firmly that, you know what, you did not treat me as you should have. And I'm not going to continue to be a part of this circus because I did not get the husband that I could have gotten, that I deserved, and it's not going to work. So I love that she did that because I believe that some of them will like say yes and might have a different answer, and then they might change their mind depending on what the person says. We've kind of picked up on that in other seasons, but I'm glad she said no. What do you think?
I am too. I'm glad she stood up for herself because I think, and this is why I think it's so telling when people go into a relationship and they feel like they're the prize, and both of you should feel like you're a prize. And I think the whole, I wasn't attracted to you, and he was this Johnny, like he was this big shot, and I think she led on to that a little bit. And he ran with it, so he thought he could do whatever he wanted. He thought she would just say yes because he said yes. That was a big lesson, I think, to him to eat some humble pie, and realize that you're not everything. And people have their own boundaries. So I'm glad that she stood up for herself, and I hope Johnny kind of gets some therapy though.
What's one
to deal
piece
with his
of
dad.
male advice you would give Johnny?
I would tell Johnny to seek therapy to heal the situation with his dad, and he will never be the man he wants to be until he does that. He will always be, and if his dad passes away before he's able to do it, he will always be chasing the what if and the ghost of it. Yeah. So I think with therapy and having those conversations and not expecting his dad to be someone that he's not, just being able to say, hey, this is who he is and who he was, and not continuously trying to seek that approval because he's showing up very similar to his dad. Yeah. And to not leave when you have disagreements. Like, I didn't think they were that bad. We didn't blow up. Well, you leaving is just the same. People think that you have to scream outwardly to blow up. You can be if dismissive, quiet, and leave, and it hurts just sometimes worse. Right. So I think he needs to really understand how to stay in a relationship and not leave when it gets tough. And be so sensitive about things. Yeah. Okay. So that was great advice. Johnny and Bao, I wish them well. So next we have Rachel and Jose. I'm not surprised Rachel and Jose, decided to stay together. Honestly, besides that blow up, which was like a huge blow up, so it's not something you can skate over. I think they were a pretty good match. She should have blew up when he said Fredericksburg. Oh, that's traveling. Yeah, this is stuff that'll work. She's like, I hear you, but that's not our yearly trip. The stuff. You might as well say, let's take you to Steak and Shake. You might. Yeah, they will be fine. So if Rose, that's what they call themselves, Rachel and Jose, if they can get some continued counseling or continued check-in with a relationship expert or relationship therapist, they can go the distance, but they have some kinks to work out, as do all relationships. What do you think about Rachel and Jose? I think the male perspective on the Jose situation, I think people are glazing over that situation too much. I think they're like, oh, we had this big blow up and we moved. No. I don't think he's taking accountability as a man. Fully. I really don't. Yeah. I think they talk about it and he goes straight to, oh, well, you left me. He goes into victim. It's a very privileged way of thinking. It's like, oh, I did all this, but you said that one little thing of, I'm not going to be in a relationship with you. Who wants to be in a marriage with somebody who's verbally abusive? He doesn't take accountability until he kicked her out. Literally, he said you get out, get the hell out, get the F out, all of that stuff. Then he locks the door, and it's just, he doesn't really go back and really take ownership of that. And then she, went to an ex and all of that, and who knows, whatever. He didn't really blow up as much on that, but still, I just don't think that he's taking a full accountability on what he did and how he treated her and how hurtful that was. Yeah, I mean, he didn't. I definitely said that he was like really great at spitting it back on her. But that situation will be rectified when another situation comes up. And we haven't seen that. Yeah, she told him that she went back to her ex, but we haven't seen that where there will be a trigger and he does something differently. That's, to me, when you'll really know. Because you can always say you're going to do something different, but it's like, okay, when it's time to do something different, show me who you really are or show me who you've become. Yeah. So. And he said in one of the episodes, he was like, I just need to give myself some space or whatever. It's like, you're not always going to have space. You can't have, that is unacceptable behavior, whether you have space or not, the way you talk to your wife and locking her out. It's just, to me, there's no excuse for it. Right. But they stay together. They still can go the distance, but there's a lot of work to be done there. He can be better. He can become better. Right. So that's Rachel and Jose. Next we have Brett and Ryan. I'm not going to waste too much time on Brett and Ryan because they weren't in it. They weren't in it. And, well, Brett, I think, did her best. Ryan was never really into her. And so, therefore, the relationship, had a failure to thrive from the very beginning. And they were good during the honeymoon. That's 2 days after they meet. So they didn't stay together. And that's probably the best thing that could have happened. There's a lot that they could learn from this situation. Ryan for sure needs to learn how to communicate, because if he would have just communicated at the beginning that he wasn't into it, it could have saved a lot of, unwarranted negative feelings. So only advice on with Ryan or men is like he lost respect for himself and for her because he just wasn't honest up front. Like there's no, I won't say no, but there's not many scenarios that you're gonna spare a woman's feelings by not being authentic with her and dragging it on, because now you're taking her time and then you're now acting as if you're checked out, because you are. That's why you're on an app. But if you would have just said, look, hey, let's just get this money. Like, we're going to say, no, I'm not in it, you're not in it. I mean, it could have been off camera. Let's just collect these checks and I'm going to do me, you do you. Therefore, you don't have to hurt her longer by not ripping the Band-Aid off. You do more damage than good if you know for a fact you're not in it. Just say that.
Yeah. So hopefully he learns to communicate better in future relationships.
You're not afraid of conflict. No, just get it over with.
Yeah. So that is Ryan and Brett. Last but not least, we have Zach and Michaela.
Lord of mercy.
I've already ran them to the ground so many times in this season, so I'm not going to say much with them, except Zach. Yeah, I've been saying Zach was problematic in a completely different way. You know, Michaela's the outward loud one, and so we can always point the finger at Michaela. Zach lacks a lot of maturity. He's not really ready for marriage. The yes but no. This is the first season where there was such confusion on what the hell yes means and no means.
I'm going to tell you what it means.
You know, I'm glad that, but you know what? It's almost like they deserve each other in a way, because then she's still kind of protecting, you know, after she got over him saying no, she's still kind of protecting when they have the group discussion at lunch or whatever it was, their decision and stuff. It's a lot of dysfunction, but they're not together. We know that. So that's it. I have ran them into the ground the whole season, so you guys know that.
Well, they divorced, but they supposedly, you know, at the end they're talking about working and all of that stuff. Let me tell you something. Whatever, if they do that, there's only one way this is going to end. It's going to end in a lot of pain and hurt, probably a lot of anger. It can. I don't watch. You know, I don't know what's going out there in the social media, or I don't watch previews, but I just know men, and I'm going to tell you what's going on. If you want to know the inside of what's happening, this is what's happening, which I don't like with Zach. When they were on that couch together and he came back and was like, I want to see you, and was real giddy, I told you right then and there what it was. I was like, oh,
to continue to be intimate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You said it better than me. And then we had a good conversation. Then at the end, it's like, can you come and sleep over? Let me tell you something, man. As a man, you have to know when to leave the relationship and protect that woman's feelings, because men will use love to gain sex, and women a lot of times will use sex to gain love. And then sometimes when you're so caught up in that, you don't even realize it's happening. Michaela doesn't realize she's being used, and I don't even think he realized. He thinks he's just doing, but it's so wrong on so many levels. If you're not going to be, and that's why he wants to stay with her, because he's probably getting people sliding in his DM. He wants to be single, but she put it on him. And that's why having sex too early can judge and cloud your judgment, especially if you're a man that can't realize when you need to say no, even if the woman is willing to say yes.
That's maturity there in a lot.
And that's why I'm 20. I've been ready for this since I was 17. You're 27. You're not a little boy. Let me say this. You're immature in what it takes to be a real man inside of a marriage. Point blank, period. And I was really upset at the way he's handled. It's very playboyish, and it's very in a way that is going to end up getting Michaela hurt and possibly himself hurt, because he doesn't know when to check out. He needs to stop being physical with her. And even Michaela's sister, she kind of felt it, but I think she didn't want to get into it. But she's like, oh, and they think it's cute. No, I know you're married and you're supposed to sleep with. No, in this case, it's a little different. You're talking about getting a divorce, and you still want to try to be physically intimate with this woman. It is emotionally a storm. And I really feel bad for what's about to happen. There's no way that this is going to end well. I promise you that. Mark my words. It won't.
Yeah. So thank you guys for hanging out with us. Because honestly, this season was like exhausting. So thank you guys for hanging out with me this season, because you know, you guys kept me going some weeks when I did not have much to give.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just wanted to say, the other thing that's happening that I really hate about this is that Zach is unknowingly taking advantage of Michaela's lack of having a father. and her loss of father and abandonment. She wants to love, and she wants him in her life so much, and he doesn't want to lose him, that she's willing to do things that he doesn't realize that it's hurting her on a deeper level. So she needs to get some healing and clearing with her dad, and he needs to actually get some counseling to understand what he's really doing and how he's not as mature and how as ready as he thinks for marriage, because it's not a divorce and let's figure this thing out. No. You want to be single, that's what you want, and you should do that and let her heal. That's what he needs to do.
Yeah. Well, you guys, that's our 4 cents, 2 and 2. So, of course, let us know what you guys thought. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share. And I will see you guys for the reunion, because I will be reviewing that as well. All right, guys. Everyone have a wonderful weekend.
All right, guys. Take care.